Lieutenant Abigail Curtis stood at the large window of the USS Intrepid, watching the stars go by as the ship moved through deep space. The ship had been exploring beyond the edge of our solar system for 3 months now. The crew had gotten used to their daily jobs and life on the ship, but everything was about to change. Lieutenant Curtis called Commander Peter Doyle from his workstation. "We're picking up something strange at coordinates 227 Mark 38. Abigail turned away from the window, and walked over to the main sensor screen. "What kind of strange thing?" "We don't know what it is," Peter replied, his fingers moving quickly across the glowing control panel. "But it's big. Really big." Captain Elizabeth Warren walked onto the bridge with a serious look on her face. "Tell me what's happening." "We found a massive object at the edge of our sensor range, Captain," Abigail explained. "It doesn't match anything we've seen before." "Could it be something natural, like an asteroid or comet?" the captain asked. "No way," Peter said. "The shape is too perfect, and it's changing direction to come toward us." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. They all knew what this meant. They were about to meet aliens for the first time in human history. Captain Warren sat down in her command chair. "Yellow alert. All departments prepare for first contact protocols. Lieutenant Curtis, open all communication channels." "Yes, Captain." For the next several hours, the Intrepid sent every kind of greeting message they could think of, while the object grew larger on their screens. It was huge, almost as big as Earth's moon, and shaped like a stretched hexagon with strange parts sticking out from its surface. "They're not answering our messages, Captain," Abigail reported. "Keep trying," Warren ordered. And a loud alarm suddenly started blaring across the bridge as red lights flashed everywhere. "They're scanning us," shouted Chief Engineer Joe Franklin over the communication system. "Their scan is going right through all our shields." "Evasive maneuvers," Warren commanded. The ship turned hard to one side, but the scan followed them, focusing especially on the ship's environmental systems. "They're targeting our life support," Joe reported, his voice tight with worry. "The scan is checking our oxygen levels, temperature controls, water recyclers, everything that keeps us alive." The alien ship suddenly released smaller ships that surrounded the Intrepid in a perfect circle. "Red alert," Warren ordered. "All hands to battle stations." But instead of attacking, the alien ships began sending out a powerful energy pulse that created a cage of energy around the Intrepid. "They've trapped us," Peter announced grimly. The ship's evacuation alarm suddenly started blaring throughout every part of the ship. "I didn't order that," Warren shouted. "It wasn't us, Captain," Joe replied. "Somehow they turned on our emergency systems from their ship." Abigail's control panel lit up with new information. "Captain, we're receiving a message. Audio only." The bridge speakers made crackling sounds, then a robotic voice that seemed to struggle with human language. "Humans, your life-sustaining mechanisms are primitive and failing. Evacuation necessary. We will assist." The crew looked at each other, confused. "Our life support is working perfectly," Joe insisted. "They think they're saving us," Abigail realized. "They scanned our systems and decided we're in danger." Captain Warren stood up. "Open a channel." "Channel open," Abigail confirmed. "This is Captain Elizabeth Warren of the United Earth ship Intrepid. Our systems are working fine. We do not need evacuation. Please remove your energy field." After a long silence, the alien voice replied, "Negative. Your air processing units work at only 20% efficiency compared to galactic standard. Your water contains biological contaminants. Your temperature control is unstable. You require immediate help." "They don't understand," Chief Medical Officer Alan Martinez said as he walked onto the bridge. "Their technology must be so advanced that our normal working systems look dangerous to them. Like finding someone living in a house with no indoor bathroom," Abigail suggested. "Exactly," Alan agreed. "They think we're about to die." The alien voice continued. "Prepare for boarding. We will remove your crew to safety. Do not resist. This is humanitarian help." Captain Warren's face hardened. "Lock all airlocks, close all emergency doors. They may think they're helping, but I'm not giving up my ship or crew." "Captain," Peter warned. Their technology is clearly much better than ours. If they want to come aboard, they will. Then we need to convince them we don't need saving, she replied. Dr. Martinez, prepare a complete explanation of human biology and what environment we need. Lieutenant Curtis, gather video evidence of our crew doing well in these conditions. Commander Doyle, study their communication patterns and find a better way to talk to them. The crew quickly got to work, but they were running out of time. The alien vessels had already sent out what looked like boarding ships. I have an idea, said Abigail suddenly. They're worried about our life support because it doesn't match what they use. What if we show them it's made specifically for human biology? That might work, Alan agreed. We need to show them that what seems inefficient or dirty to them is perfect for us. Captain Warren nodded. Do it. Abigail and Alan quickly put together a presentation with human medical data, theories about alien biology, and videos of Earth's natural environments. They sent this information just as the first alien boarding ship attached to the Intrepid's hull. The ship shook as the aliens began cutting through the outer airlock door. They're coming through airlock 3, Security Chief Olivia Jackson reported, leading a team of officers to that location. The inner airlock door slid open, revealing 3 tall, thin creatures with see-through bluish skin and 4 arms each. They weren't wearing any breathing equipment, suggesting they could breathe the human air, even if they thought humans couldn't. Stop, Olivia commanded, her team raising their weapons. You are entering this ship without permission. The aliens paused, their large, multi-sided eyes blinking in what might have been confusion. One of them raised a device that showed a 3D image of the Intrepid's life support systems, with many areas highlighted in warning colors. Danger, the alien said through a translator device. Your system's inadequate. High chance of failure, 82.6%. Dr. Allen stepped forward. That's not right. Our systems are working at 100% efficiency for human needs. The aliens made a series of clicking sounds among themselves before the leader responded. Your species requires poison called oxygen on purpose? Allen's face showed sudden understanding. They think oxygen is poisonous to us because it's probably harmful in their environment. Yes, the alien confirmed, misunderstanding Allen's comment to his colleagues. Oxygen destroys cell structures. Carbon dioxide necessary for intelligent life. Your systems force oxygen into your living space. We detected and came to rescue. Captain Warren arrived at the airlock, having heard the conversation over the communication system. We appreciate your concern, but our species evolved breathing oxygen. What's poisonous to you is essential for us. The aliens talked among themselves, again their movements suggesting they didn't believe what they were hearing. Impossible, their leader finally stated. Oxygen destroys organic matter. For your biology, perhaps, Allen explained. But not for ours. Different evolutionary paths lead to different biological requirements. The aliens didn't seem convinced. Their rescue mission had suddenly become complicated by creatures who insisted on staying in what the aliens saw as a death trap. The leader made another series of clicks, which the translator converted. If oxygen necessary, your species is unlike any we have encountered. This requires further study. We will continue communication, but evacuation plans remain active until we confirm your unusual biology. Captain Warren sighed. Somehow, they needed to prove to these well-meaning aliens that humans not only survived in an oxygen environment, they needed it to live. The aliens and humans faced each other in the airlock. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Dr. Alan Martinez had just explained that humans needed oxygen to live, but the aliens clearly didn't believe him. We need to show them proof, Captain Warren whispered to Alan. Something they can't argue with. Alan nodded and turned to the alien leader. I can prove humans need oxygen. Will you let me show you? The alien's forearms moved in what might have been a gesture of agreement. Show evidence. If valid, we reconsider. Alan opened his medical kit and took out a small device. He pricked his finger and placed a drop of blood on the device's sensor pad. A holographic display appeared, showing human blood cells in great detail. This is human blood, Alan explained, pointing to the red blood cells. These red cells carry oxygen throughout our bodies. Without oxygen, these cells can't do their job and we die. He tapped a few controls, and the display showed the oxygen molecules binding to the blood cells. The aliens leaned in, their multifaceted eyes focused intently on the display. They made a series of rapid clicking sounds to each other. Fascinating. Adaptation, the alien leader finally said. But dangerous. Oxygen corrodes materials, damages living tissue. Not human tissue, Alan explained. Our bodies evolved with protective measures. What's toxic to you is life-giving to us. The aliens still seemed unconvinced. Their translator relayed. Need more evidence. If true, unprecedented, biological configuration. Captain Warren stepped forward. Dr. Martinez, show them what happens when humans don't get enough oxygen. Alan nodded and adjusted his device. This simulation shows what happens to human cells when oxygen levels drop. The display changed to show blood cells struggling to function, tissue breaking down, and brain cells dying. Without oxygen, we suffer brain damage in minutes and death shortly after. The aliens watched the simulation, their posture showing what humans might interpret as shock. Your species requires corrosive element to survive? The leader asked. Evolution took strange path on your world. It seems that way, Captain Warren agreed. Just as your species likely evolved to require carbon dioxide, which would suffocate us. This statement caused even more clicking and movement among the aliens. The leader turned to its companions, and they engaged in rapid communication before facing the humans again. If true, explained scanner readings, the leader admitted. Our rescue protocols activated because we detected oxygen levels that would kill our species. We assumed universal biology. A natural mistake, Warren said diplomatically. We might have done the same if we found a ship filled with carbon dioxide. Security Chief Olivia Jackson kept her weapon at the ready, not entirely convinced the situation was resolved. Captain, they still have us trapped in their energy field and they triggered our evacuation alarm. The alien leader turned its attention to Olivia. Defensive posture unnecessary. We intended rescue, not harm. Then remove your energy field and deactivate our alarm, Captain Warren requested. The alien made a gesture with its upper arms. Not yet possible. Must verify your biological claims first. If oxygen truly necessary for you, must recalibrate all rescue protocols. Commander Peter Doyle's voice came over the ship's communication system. Captain, more alien ships are surrounding us. They're deploying some kind of probes around our hull. Warren turned to the alien leader. What are those probes? Atmospheric analyzers, the alien explained. We'll confirm oxygen levels on all decks of your vessel. Standard procedure to identify containment breaches. We don't have containment breaches, Chief Engineer Joe Franklin insisted, joining the group at the airlock. Our ship is functioning perfectly for human life support. The alien leader made a sound that the translator didn't interpret. Your definition of perfect concerning. System pumps toxic gas throughout vessel. Recycles water containing bacterial life forms. Maintains temperature variations exceeding 5 degrees. By galactic standards, primitive life support barely functioning. Joe looked offended. I'll have you know this is the most advanced life support system humanity has ever built. Alan put a hand on Joe's shoulder. I think that's exactly the problem. To them, our most advanced technology looks dangerously primitive. Like finding someone using a flip phone in the age of quantum communicators, Abigail suggested. It works fine for what we need, but to them, it looks like we're using stone tools. The aliens' probes completed their scan of the Intrepid and the leader received information through some unseen communication method. It turned all 4 of its arms outward in what seemed like a gesture of surprise. Scans confirmed consistent oxygen levels throughout vessel, the alien announced. No carbon dioxide pockets found. If your biological claims accurate, your entire crew breathes corrosive gas continuously. Yes, that's exactly right, Alan confirmed. All humans breathe oxygen. We exhale carbon dioxide as waste. This information caused another flurry of clicking among the aliens. Their movements became more agitated. One exhales what the other requires, the leader said, sounding almost philosophical. Biological complementarity unexpected. Warren saw an opportunity. Perhaps instead of rescuing us, we can establish communication and learn from each other. Our differences might be valuable to both species. Before the alien could respond, one of the probes floating outside the ship emitted a sharp pulsing tone. The aliens immediately became alert, their posture rigid. "Radiation detected," the leader announced. "Dangerous levels emanating from your propulsion system." Joe frowned. "Our radiation shielding is well within human safety parameters." "Human. Parameters irrelevant," the alien stated firmly. "Radiation lethal to our species at 1,000th your safe levels." The situation had just gotten more complicated. Captain Warren realized they were dealing with beings so different from humans that basic assumptions about safety couldn't be trusted. "This explains fully why rescue protocols activated," the leader continued. "Your vessel detected as radiation-leaking craft with toxic atmosphere. Automatic classification, extreme danger." "To your species, perhaps," Warren clarified. "But not to us. We've adapted to these conditions." The alien leader stood silent for a moment, processing this information. "If true, remarkable adaptation. Your species survives conditions lethal to majority of spacefaring civilizations we have encountered." Abigail stepped forward. "How many civilizations have you encountered?" 342 documented space-capable species, the alien replied. "None utilize oxygen-based respiration. None tolerate radiation at your levels." The implications of this statement stunned the human crew. They had always wondered if they would be the primitive newcomers when meeting alien life. Instead, they were being viewed as bizarrely tough creatures who thrived in conditions others found deadly. "We need to establish proper communication," Warren decided. "This misunderstanding shows how different our species are, but also offers an opportunity." Dr. Martinez continued explaining human biology to them. "Commander Doyle, prepare a full cultural exchange package. Chief Franklin, work with their engineers to help them understand our technology's safety parameters for humans." The alien leader made a gesture that might have been agreement. "Will, share information with our scientists. Situation unprecedented. If oxygen truly your requirement, classification of your species changes from distressed to exceptional biological anomaly." "I'm not sure if that's a promotion or a demotion," Abigail whispered to Olivia, who suppressed a smile. "One question remains," the alien leader said. "If our understanding now correct, why did you not respond to evacuation alarm?" Captain Warren smiled. "Because to us there was no emergency. What you see as a deadly environment is our normal, comfortable condition." The alien's translator struggled to convey its response, finally settling on, "Remarkable. Your species lives comfortably in what would be torture chamber for us." As the aliens withdrew to consult with their scientists, leaving just 2 guards at the airlock, Captain Warren turned to her crew. "I think we just changed their understanding of what life can be. Now we need to convince them fully that we're not in danger so they'll release our ship." "And if we can't?" Olivia asked. Warren's expression grew serious. "Then we have to figure out how to escape from aliens who are absolutely convinced they're saving us from ourselves." Captain Warren called her senior officers to the Intrepid's conference room. The aliens had returned to their ship to consult with their scientists, but they still kept the energy field around the Intrepid. The evacuation alarm had finally been silenced, but the situation remained tense. "Report," Warren said as her team settled around the table. "What have we learned about our visitors?" Dr. Alan Martinez spoke first. "They call themselves the Vrel. Their biology is fundamentally different from ours. They breathe carbon dioxide and exhale something similar to methane. Oxygen is highly toxic to them, just as carbon dioxide in high concentrations would be to us." "That explains why they thought we needed rescue," Abigail said. "They scanned our ship, found it full of oxygen, and assumed we were in danger." "It's more than that," Chief Engineer Joe Franklin added. "I've been studying the technical data they shared. Their environmental standards are incredibly different from ours. They maintain precise temperature control within half a degree. Their water is completely sterile, no bacteria at all. And they shield against radiation at levels we consider background noise. Warren nodded thoughtfully. So to them, we're living in a hot, radioactive box full of poison gas and contaminated water. Exactly, Joe confirmed. No wonder they triggered our evacuation alarm. From their perspective, we're sitting in a death trap. Security Chief Olivia, Jackson frowned. That doesn't give them the right to trap our ship and try to force an evacuation. They genuinely believe they're saving our lives, Commander Peter Doyle pointed out. It's misguided, but not malicious. The ship's communication system chimed. Captain, the officer on duty reported, the Vrel are requesting to come aboard again. They say their scientists have a proposal. Warren stood up. Let's hear what they have to say. Meet me at Airlock 3. When the crew arrived at the airlock, 4 Vrel were waiting to enter. The alien leader from before was accompanied by 3 others wearing what appeared to be specialized equipment. Welcome back aboard the Intrepid, Captain Warren greeted them. I understand you have a proposal for us. The leader made a gesture that might have been a bow. Our scientists analyzed your biological data. Remarkable findings confirmed. Your species requires oxygen. Evolved in radiation-heavy environment. Utilizes biological contaminants for digestion. That's right, Alan confirmed. Bacteria in our digestive system help us process food. One of the new Vrel stepped forward. Its translator identified it as Science Specialist Krevlin. Never encountered oxygen-breathing sentient life, Krevlin said. Your existence challenges biological assumptions. Fascinating adaptation to harsh conditions. Abigail couldn't help but smile. It's interesting you see our environment as harsh. To us, your ship would probably be uncomfortable. Too cold. Too sterile. The alien scientist made a series of rapid clicks that the translator couldn't process. When it spoke again, its words came through clearly. Precisely why I requested meeting. Biological incompatibility creates unique opportunity. What kind of opportunity? Warren asked. Complementary exploration, Krevlin explained. Galaxy contains many regions Vrel cannot safely visit. Oxygen-rich atmospheres, radiation fields, bacterial ecosystems. Previously considered uninhabitable. Now, Joe understood. But those regions might be perfectly fine for humans. Correct, the alien confirmed. What kills Vrel sustains humans. What kills humans sustains Vrel. Evolutionary divergence creates non-competing species. Captain Warren considered this information. Are you suggesting an alliance? Preliminary scientific exchange, the leader clarified. If successful, potential for formal alliance exists. Vrel alliance consists of 42 carbon-based species with similar environmental requirements. All would find human adaptation remarkable. Alan stepped closer to the aliens, his medical curiosity evident. I'd like to understand more about your biology. How did you evolve to breathe carbon dioxide? Krevlin seemed pleased by the question. Our homeworld atmosphere, 85% carbon dioxide, 10% nitrogen, 5% trace gases. Early plant equivalents produced oxygen as waste, toxic to most life. Evolutionary pressure created organisms that consumed oxygen, converted to carbon dioxide. Balance maintained. The opposite of Earth, Alan marveled. Our plants produce oxygen, and animals consume it and exhale carbon dioxide. Perfect symmetry, Krevlin agreed. Different evolutionary paths reaching similar complexity through opposite processes. The third alien stepped forward, introduced as Engineering Specialist Zoral. It gestured toward Joe. Would like to examine your propulsion systems, understand radiation containment methods better. Joe looked to Captain Warren, who nodded her approval. I'll show you our engine room, but I should warn you, what we consider safe radiation levels might be dangerous for your species. Protective gear equipped, Zoral assured him, indicating the apparatus at war. Allows brief exposure to human environments. As Joe led Zoral toward engineering, the fourth alien approached Abigail. Cultural Specialist Thurn, it introduced, itself. Wished to learn about human society, how species thriving in toxic environment develops civilization. I'd be happy to tell you about Earth, Abigail replied. And I'd love to learn about your world too. Captain Warren observed these exchanges. With growing optimism, what had started as a rescue mission based on a misunderstanding was turning into a genuine cultural exchange. She turned to the Vrel leader. I appreciate your willingness to learn about us rather than continuing to insist we need rescue, she said. The leader made that bowing gesture again. Initial assessment flawed due to biological assumptions. Truth requires adaptation of thinking, still concerned about your safety, but respect your biological requirements. Does this mean you'll remove the energy field around our ship? Warren asked. Soon, the leader promised. Safety protocols require gradual deactivation. Also request permission for larger scientific team to board your vessel. Warren considered this request. Granted, but I'd like some of my crew to visit your ship as well. A true exchange should go both ways. The leader hesitated. Difficult. Our atmosphere would kill humans instantly. We have environmental suits, Warren assured it. They'll allow us to breathe our own air while on your ship. After a brief consultation with the other Vrel, the leader agreed. Acceptable. We'll prepare reception area for suited humans. Meanwhile, in engineering, Joe was explaining the Intrepid's propulsion system to Zoral. Despite the language barrier and the translator's limitations, the alien engineer seemed to grasp the concepts quickly. Fascinating approach, Zoral commented. Your radiation shielding primitive by our standards, yet effective for your biology. Your species evolved with remarkable resistance. I wouldn't say we're resistant to radiation, Joe clarified. High levels will kill us too. We're just more tolerant of low levels than your species. Zoral's multifaceted eyes focused on Joe. Not just more tolerant, exponentially more resistant. What would kill Vrel instantly merely increases your cancer risk slightly. Joe hadn't thought of it that way before. I guess we are tougher than we realized. Tough is understatement, Zoral replied. By galactic standards, humans are extreme radiation-resistant, oxygen-breathing anomalies. In the ship's recreation area, Abigail was showing Thurn images of Earth. The alien cultural specialist seemed fascinated by everything from oceans to forests to cities. All these environments contain oxygen? Thurn asked. Yes, our atmosphere is about 21% oxygen. Abigail explained. All Earth life has adapted to it. And these bacterial life forms, they exist everywhere. Thurn seemed particularly concerned about this. Pretty much, Abigail confirmed. In the soil, in water, on surfaces, even in our bodies. They're essential to Earth's ecosystems. Thurn's translator conveyed its response with what might have been awe. Your species evolved in conditions that would be considered lethal biohazards by most galactic civilizations. Back on the bridge, Captain Warren received reports from her crew about their interactions with the Vrel. Each account confirmed the same conclusion. What humans considered normal, the aliens viewed as extraordinarily harsh conditions. It seems we've made quite an impression, Warren told Commander Doyle. Not because of our technology or achievements, but simply because of what we can survive. Doyle nodded. They see us as some kind of super tough extremophiles, beings that thrive in conditions that would kill most other species. Captain, the communications officer called out. Message from the Vrel ship, the energy field is being deactivated and they're inviting a delegation to visit their vessel. Warren smiled. Looks like understanding is finally happening. Tell engineering to prepare environmental suits for the away team. She turned to Doyle. This could be the beginning of something remarkable. First contact gone from rescue mission to scientific exchange, Doyle agreed. All because we breathe what they consider poison. Sometimes, Warren said thoughtfully, the greatest differences create the best opportunities for cooperation. Captain Warren stood in the airlock with 5 crew members all wearing environmental suits. They were about to visit the Vrel ship, but Warren still felt nervous. Despite the growing trust between the two species, she couldn't help wondering what they would find aboard the alien vessel. Everyone check your suit seals again, she ordered. Remember, their atmosphere will kill you in seconds if your suit fails. Engineer Joe Franklin ran a final check of everyone's equipment. All suits are working properly, Captain. We each have 4 hours of oxygen. Good. Let's go make history, Warren said as the airlock cycled open. 3 Vrel were waiting for them, in a special chamber designed to connect with the Intrepid. The alien leader greeted them with the now familiar four-armed gesture. "Welcome to Exploration Vessel Harmonious Discovery," the leader said through its translator. "Chamber specially prepared for human visitors. Contains airlock buffers to prevent atmosphere contamination." Warren nodded inside her helmet. "We appreciate your precautions. We're eager to learn about your ship and people." "Follow. We'll show observation deck first," the leader instructed. As they walked through the alien ship, the humans were amazed by its design. The corridors were wider and higher than on human ships. Strange lights that gave off no heat lined the ceilings. The walls seemed to pulse slightly, almost as if the ship itself were alive. "Your ship is beautiful," Abigail commented. "So different from ours." "Designed for efficiency and harmony," the leader explained. "Ship partially organic, grows and adapts to needs." Joe looked fascinated. "The ship is alive?" "Not fully sentient," the leader clarified. "Symbiotic relationship with crew. Responds to needs. Maintains ideal conditions automatically." They entered a large round room with viewing screens covering the walls and ceiling. Unlike the Intrepid's small windows, these screens showed perfect views of space in all directions, creating the illusion of standing among the stars. "Observation Center," the leader announced. "Used for stellar research and meditation." As the humans admired the view, science specialist Krevlin joined them. It carried a device that projected holographic images. "Have analyzed human biological data," Krevlin stated. "Created comprehensive comparison between Vrel and human environmental requirements." The hologram showed 2 humanoid shapes side by side, 1 human and 1 Vrel. Information about atmospheric needs, temperature ranges, radiation tolerance, and water requirements appeared next to each figure. "As you see," Krevlin explained, "Vrel require carbon dioxide atmosphere, temperatures between 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, minimal radiation, sterile water. While we need oxygen, prefer temperatures around 20-25 degrees Celsius, can tolerate low radiation levels, and actually need certain bacteria in our environment," Allen observed. "Precisely," Krevlin confirmed. "Complete environmental incompatibility." Warren frowned inside her helmet. "Is that a problem for our species working together?" "Opposite," Krevlin replied, sounding excited. "Creates unprecedented opportunity. Galaxy divided into zones Vrel can explore and zones humans can explore, with minimal competition for habitable worlds." The leader added, "Alliance Council has reviewed preliminary data, authorized me to offer formal cooperation agreement." This was moving faster than Warren had expected. "What kind of agreement?" "Technology exchange. Shared exploration rights. Mutual defense," the leader listed. "Humans gain access to Vrel Alliance knowledge accumulated over 4,000 years. Vrel gain partners who can explore oxygen-rich regions previously considered deadly." Commander Doyle looked skeptical. "This seems very generous. What's the catch?" The alien leader's translator took a moment to process this idiom. "No deception. Intended. Arrangement mutually beneficial. Vrel Alliance controls 18,472 star systems but cannot explore oxygen-heavy regions safely. These regions contain estimated 12,000 additional systems with valuable resources. You're saying you'll help us with advanced technology if we explore places you can't go?" Joe asked. "Simplified but accurate," the leader confirmed. "Your biology makes you uniquely qualified partners." Allen had been studying the biological comparison hologram carefully. "I'm curious about something. How many other oxygen-breathing species have you encountered?" The aliens went silent for a moment. Then Krevlin responded, "None at your technological level. Simple oxygen-consuming organisms exist on many worlds. Some primitive oxygen-breathing animals documented. No other oxygen-breathing species achieved spaceflight." This revelation stunned the humans. They had always wondered if they would find themselves to be primitive compared to alien civilizations. Instead, they were being told they were unique. The only oxygen-breathing species to reach the stars. How is that possible? Abigail asked. Oxygen is so common in the universe. Oxygen reactivity makes complex life development difficult, Krevlin explained. Corrosive properties damage genetic material over time. Most evolutionary paths favor less reactive atmospheric components. So we're the weird ones, Olivia said with a small laugh. Unique, the leader corrected. Special. Valuable. What kills us sustains you. What kills you sustains us. Perfect complementary species. Captain Warren took a moment to process this information. You're offering us partnership not just because of what we can do, but because of what we are. Because we evolved breathing what your people consider poison. Precisely, the leader confirmed. Human toughness impressive. You survive conditions lethal to most sentient life forms. Your space vessels operate with minimal shielding by our standards. Your colonies could thrive on worlds we consider death zones. Joe couldn't help but smile inside his helmet. So humans are basically the cockroaches of the galaxy? Hard to kill and able to live almost anywhere? The translator struggled with this comparison, but eventually the leader responded, If cockroaches are highly adaptable creatures, then comparison has merit, though suggest more respectful term for diplomatic relations. Everyone laughed, easing the tension. Perhaps resilient explorers would be more diplomatic, Warren suggested. Acceptable term, the leader agreed. Now, would like to show you more of ship. Special area prepared where humans can remove suits briefly to experience Vrel hospitality. Separate atmosphere chamber created. As they continued the tour, the humans were shown amazing technologies far beyond Earth's capabilities. The Vrel had developed artificial gravity, faster-than-light communication, and medical techniques that could regrow limbs and cure diseases that humans still struggled with. In the special chamber designed for humans, they were able to safely remove their helmets and sample food prepared according to human nutritional requirements. It wasn't delicious, but it showed the Vrel's sincere effort to accommodate their biological needs. After the tour, back aboard the Intrepid, Captain Warren called a meeting with her senior officers. Thoughts on the Vrel offer? She asked. Their technology is centuries beyond ours, Joe said immediately. The benefits to humanity would be enormous. But can we trust them? Olivia asked. This all seems too good to be true. Abigail shook her head. I don't think they're trying to trick us. Their biology makes them genuinely unable to explore certain regions of space. We're not a threat to them. We're an opportunity. Dr. Martinez? Warren turned to Alan. From a biological perspective, this is fascinating, Alan replied. We evolved in completely different directions, yet reached similar levels of intelligence and civilization. Instead of competing for the same resources, we're naturally suited to different environments. So we're getting offered a fast track to advanced technology simply because we can breathe air that would kill them, Doyle summarized. And because we can handle radiation levels they consider lethal, Joe added. Don't forget that part. Warren nodded slowly. It seems humanity's place in the galaxy isn't going to be won through superior technology or military might, but through the simple accident of evolution that allows us to live in conditions other species consider deadly. Space cockroaches, Joe repeated with a grin. Tough little creatures that can survive almost anywhere. I think I prefer resilient explorers, Warren said with a smile. Send a message to Earth. Tell them we've made first contact with an advanced alien alliance, and they want to be our friends, all because we breathe oxygen. As the message was transmitted toward Earth, Warren looked out at the massive Vrel ship floating alongside the Intrepid. Who could have guessed that humanity's greatest asset in the galaxy would be something as simple as what we breathe? Sometimes, the most ordinary thing about us can seem extraordinary to others. The aliens had scanned their life support and triggered an evacuation alarm, thinking they were saving the humans from certain death. Instead, they had discovered potential partners whose very biology made them perfect for exploring the parts of space that remained mysteries to the Vrel. It wasn't how anyone had imagined first contact would go, but it had opened the door to the stars for humanity in ways they never could have predicted.